when it comes to protecting players from concussions. One North Texas team is putting its money where its mouth is. Our Corey Smith takes us to Colleyville Heritage High School to explain.
The road to a state championship starts in the weight room.
And you're going to suck down hard on it. Don't bite.
But this little mouth guard may be the most important piece of equipment in here.
You can drink with it, you can talk with it, you can breathe with it.
The Panthers have joined a growing list of schools that hope it will drastically cut down the number of concussions suffered on the field by simply creating a gap between the jaw and skull.
And it separates that joint away from the skull so that the G-force that we find in concussions doesn't get up to the brain where it causes an injury.
Dr. Michael Hutchison invented the medically patented mouth guard. He's given it to more than 2,000 athletes and can count on one hand how many concussions they've experienced.
You'll be shocked at what you can do.
Well, we're always researching better technology that's out there.
The data was compelling enough that Colleyville Heritage football coach Joe Willis decided to outfit his entire team with the Powerplus mouth guard.
We feel like that we have an advantage, in terms of keeping them healthy and keeping them on the field.
Okay, open big.
Michael Hott works side by side with Dr. Hutchison. His daughter died from a head injury in 2002, so this business is personal.
This is something they have to wear anyways, so why not something that has been shown medically and has been demonstrated in thousands of athletes to reduce concussions that occur on the playing field and in practice.
And after getting fitted today, these Panthers are ready to put it to the test.
Having that on gives you a sense of security, and you know you're protected.
In Colleyville, Corey Smith, NBC5.
Last year, 30 players on the Colleyville Heritage football team wore that mouth guard. None got a concussion. Dr. Hutchison hopes to partner with other scientists studying concussions to continue improving the technology. The mouth guard.
Hey, I mean, that was a good point.
I think we might start seeing some go back. Is your demanding work lifestyle in need of fire-resistant clothing that can keep up? Well, L4FR clothing should be your go-to for quality, affordability, safety, and style. L4FR was founded by a third-generation oil field worker who is also a veteran. Thus, this company has a deep appreciation for reliability and longevity, all while we provide first-rate customer service. Our durable apparel will serve you well for many years to come, whether you're working on a pipeline, alignment climbing utility poles, or in any other environment requiring fire-resistant apparel. L4FR has you covered. Our apparel is tough enough to resist hazardous conditions while still providing high comfort and style. L4FR provides clothing options to ensure your safety and comfort, whether you're on the job or not. To view our complete inventory of flame-resistant garments, please visit our online store at l4frclothing.com or give us a call at 817-757-4935. Si habla español.
Connected to a semi-pro team in Traverse City, Michigan. And they were doing okay, but not great. And we had a couple concussions. They were averaging 3 or 4 a year, actually. And when we got the mouth guard, I took it to the owner and I said, this is something that we ought to have on every player. And he said, okay. He said, what have we got to lose? Because we were losing our good players. And we put them on, and we went 4 straight seasons. And we had not one concussion.
Hey, I mean, that was a good point.
I think we might start seeing some go back. Hey, what district are you in? Let's find out. Hello, everybody. Terry Bennett, Sideline to Sideline, right here on L4 Media, brought to you by Powerplus Mouthguard, as they are our new title sponsor. Of course, Powerplus Mouthguard has been a sponsor here on Sideline to Sideline. This would be their 6th year, and this will be their first year that they're title sponsor of our Sideline to Sideline shows that you can hear each and every week. Grant Goodwin and I, as we talk 3A, 4A, 2A football. Separate shows in season. Now, off season, some of the shows will be combined, kind of like today. As today, this is what I think is kind of like second Christmas now at this point. You've got Realignment Day. Now, I'm not one of those, Matt Stepp and that crew over at Dave Campbell's, they and Carl Padilla, they do all the projections and, all the different mock realignments, kind of like mock NFL drafts. And just like the NFL draft, I'm not really into all the projections and stuff. That's not my thing. But I do love waking up on Realignment Day. And hey, the website worked. It's been a long time since that's ever happened, if it's ever happened. But yeah, as soon as 9 o'clock hit, all of the new districts are out. And of course, that's what we're going to be talking about here on this show. And it's just kind of a casual, relaxing, we're not doing a big rush to anything. Just kind of look over the districts in Class 2A, Class 3A, and Class 4A. Give my initial opinions. I do want to go ahead and set the schedule for the rest of the offseason. We're going to bring back the meeting with new coaches for new schools, or new head coaches inside 4A, 3A, and 2A. We're going to bring that back this year. We're going to be able to start it earlier because, again, last year, being year one, doing all this, we still had to put some things in place. All that's in place now. So my goal is to kind of hit at least 2 types of coaches interviews a week going forward between now and probably June. And one of them just being a coach talking about, one of the coaches maybe that we do our coaches show on, of course, whether it be Holiday or Brock, or Munster or Laga Vista, and have them on talk about their new districts or their districts, if they're the same districts like some of these are. And then we'll have the new coaches on as well. Of course, then Coaches School will be there again this year. We're going to have a great time there. Already got some great things in the works with some of the coaches that I do shows with and some of the coaches I want to do shows with. And then, hey, it'll then be time for all the preseason stuff that Grant and I do for Sideline to Sideline. Grant will be in studio here in a couple weeks, and we'll do a recorded Sideline to Sideline, just kind of taking a look at these districts again. But we're going to be doing it live today, or as live as it can be. 9:32 a.m. The districts dropped at 9. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll break it down. We'll go ahead and start in 2A Division 1 right here on Sideline to Sideline, the Realignment Show on L4 Media, brought to you by Powerplus Mouthguard.
Helmets don't protect every direction of force. And in some sports, a helmet just isn't part of the equipment, like basketball or soccer. Hockey has a small type of helmet. They just don't protect you against all the directions of forces that come into play. You can get forces on top of your head, on the side, on the back, but under the chin, there's nothing to protect that except for a physiologically positioned jaw. Putting your jaw in its physiologic rest position brings the actual jawbone away from the skull so that when you receive that force from an impact, that force doesn't get translated through the joint into that cradle of the skull, injuring the brain.
right, Terry Bennett back here, sideline to sideline, brought to you by Powerplus Mouthguard. It's realignment day. Kind of feel like it being 9:30 morning. Felt like a little bit of FM drive time there. Coming down back. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to start kind of going through these districts. Let's see what I have keyed up. I have 2A Division 1 keyed up. All right, start out in District 1. You got Highland Park, Panhandle, Sanford, Fritz, Spearman. Spearman dropping down from Class 3A. That'll be interesting. They've been competitive over the last few years. West Texas and Sunray, District 2, Abernathy, Florida, New Deal, New Home, Olton, and Post. District 3, Cristobal, Colorado City, Forsan, Ozona, and Sonora. District 4, Abilene, Texas, Leadership, Anson, Cisco, Holly, Olney, and Stanford. That's going to be a fun district right there. Over in Region 2, Ballinger, Bangs, Coleman, De Leon, Hamilton, and Hico. So pretty much the same. District 6, Alvord, Nacona, Tom Bean, Trenton, White Wolf City. District 7, Axtell, Bosqueville, Dawson, Italy, Itasca, Rio Vista, and Valley Mills. And then District 8, Cayuga, Frankston, Cairns, Malakoff, Crossroads, Mildred, and Price, Carlisle. Class 2A, Division 1, Region 3, Albert Golden, Bogota, Rivercrest, Como, Picton, Cooper, Honeygrove, Pewitt, and Quinlan Bowles. Boy, now that is an interesting one right there. As Pewitt drops down into 2A, and they get put right into a district with Cooper and Honeygrove. But, I don't think Pewitt's afraid of either one of those. So it'll be interesting to see where Pewitt falls in this Region 3 battle with, of course, we know who's about to come up. Let's go ahead and go District 10, Beckville, Big Sandy, Elysian Fields. So Elysian Fields also drops down. Wascom, Union Grove, Harleton, Hoskins, and Ore City. Over in District 11, you've got Garrison, Hemp Hill, Joaquin, San Augustine, Shelbyville, and Timpson. In District 12, Centerville, Corrigan, Camden, Groveton, Hearn, Juliette, Leon, and Normandy. And then in Region 4, Bruceville, Eddy, Crawford, Marlin, Moody, Riesel, and Rosebud Lots. Your District 13, District 14's Harper, Holland, Johnson City, LBJ, Mason, San Saba, and Thorndale. District 15, Bloomington, Danbury, Flatona, Ganado, Kennedy, Schulenburg, Weimer. District 16, Freer, Fremont, Refugio, Rivera, Cofair, Santa Maria, Skidmore, Tynan, and Three Rivers. I just keep getting pulled back to Region 3. I mean, Region 3 last year was tough with Timpson and Garrison at the bottom, and then Cooper and them. And then you look at who's now in this region, Paul Pewitt, Elysian Fields, Wascom. Wow. There's going to be some good teams sitting at home in these 4 districts with Region 3. That just stands out. Region 2, it still feels like, it's kind of Coleman. Trying to look it through them all, go through. I don't know what White Rat's got to come back. Wolf City's got it. Now, Wolf City gets pulled away from, over into completely thrown into Region 2. So that's interesting. So not only do they leave the Cooper Honeygrove, but they fly 3 districts over in theory. But they're in a very competitive district for them with Trenton, Tom Bean, and White. Out in Region 1, Abernathy's dropping down. They're going to step right in and I think be a region favorite. And, of course, District 4, as we were talking about, Cisco, Holly, Stanford, all 3 of them, that's going to be a battle. But again, Region 3 for 2A Division 1, that's what stands out the most for me. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do it again for Class 2A Division 2, and then just keep kind of going right down the order, and we'll do all that right here on Sideline to Sideline, brought to you by Powerplus Mouthguard.
Hey, that is a good point.
I think we might start seeing some go back. All right, Terry Bennett back here on the Powerplus Mouthguard Realignment show for Class 4A, 3A, and 2A. Of course, we'll be having, again, Grant and I, if you're just now joining us sitting here at the beginning, Grant will be in studio here in a couple weeks, and we'll kind of take another look at the districts. This is more for instant reaction, and that's more for, us having a little bit of time to think about it and our views and stuff. But anyway, we did Class 2A Division 1. Now we're going to do Class 2A Division 2. Let me pop it up here. All right. In Region 1, you got Farwell, Groover, Stratford, Vega. In District 2, Hell Center, Lockney, Morton, Rawls, Sedan, Crosbyton. District 3, Plains, Rope, Seagraves, Meyer, Sundown, Tahoka. District 4, El Dorado, Iran, McCamey, Sterling City, Van Horn, and Wink. In Region 2, you got Clarendon, Memphis, Quanah, Wellington, Wheeler, Shamrock. District 6, Archer City, Electra, Haskell, Petrolia, Seymour, Windthorst, and Monday. In District 7, Albany, Miles, Roscoe, Collegiate, Winters, Cross Plains, and Hamlin. In District 8, Chico, Collinsville, Era, Lindsay, Munster, and Santos. So that's the big district not really the big district, but with Munster and Collinsville. And of course, now Collinsville is going to have a ton to return. Lose a ton and have to rebuild. But Munster was a young team last year. Really had a nice little playoff run, took Albany to the mat before a late interception. And I got to feel like they kind of like theirs, as long as they, depends on where you finish in the district. You don't want to get Albany in the first round. Over in Region 3, Celeste, as they drop down, Clarksville, Cumbie, Detroit, Linden, Kildare, Maud, and Sims Bowie. They don't drop down. They cross over into Region 3. They were the team that was kind of the outlier in the Munster district last year. And so now they're back more kind of where they fit, in my opinion, in Region 3. District 10, Bremont, Chilton, Frost, Goldways, Hubbard, Mart, Meridian, and Wortham. District 11, Alto, back in now. Legal, I think. I think they can play now for the playoffs and everything. Cushing, Grapeland, Lovelady, Mount Enterprise, Overton, and Tenaha. So Overton had that resurgent year last year, and they get the gift of getting Tenaha and now Alto back and allowed to play. That's a tough one for the Mustangs. District 12, Colmesnil, Deweyville, Evadale, Sabine Pass, West Hardin, West Sabine, and Hull Dicetta. In District 13, Bartlett, Burton, Granger, Iola, McDade, Milano, Snook, Somerville. District 4, Bracketville, Center Point, Junction, LaPrire, Sabinal, D'Hanis, and Rock Springs. District 15, Charlotte, Falls City, Louise, Pettis, Shiner. Shiner drops into Region 4, Class 2A Division 2. You look at them where they're at now, and they're, to me, a favorite of the region. Without even talking about anything else, they're a favorite of the region. And then District 16, you've got Bimbo, Lavilla, Woodsboro, and Bruni. So Woodsboro, okay, so that's going to be interesting. So you've got a Shiner Woodsboro right side of Region 4. That's going to be interesting there. All right, so that's Class 2A Division 2. Take a break, come back. We're going to do it again for 3A right here on Sideline to Sideline, the Realignment Edition. Is your demanding work lifestyle in need of fire-resistant clothing that can keep up? Well, L4FR clothing should be your go-to for quality, affordability, safety, and style. L4FR was founded by a third-generation oil field worker who is also a veteran. Thus, this company has a deep appreciation for reliability and longevity, all while we provide first-rate customer service. Our durable apparel will serve you well for many years to come, whether you're working on a pipeline, a lineman climbing utility poles, or in any other environment requiring fire-resistant apparel. L4FR has you covered. Our apparel is tough enough to resist hazardous conditions while still providing high comfort and style. L4FR provides clothing options to ensure your safety and comfort, whether you're on the job or not. To view our complete inventory of flame-resistant garments, please visit our online store at l4frclothing.com or give us a call at 817-757-4935. Si habla español. All right, Terry Bennett back here, sideline to sideline, the Realignment Show. If you look over my shoulder, you see Outdrank the Coverage. That's the show that intern Noah and I do each and every week during the NFL football college season. We'll be having our Super Bowl preview show next week. Our conference championship reactions are up on YouTube at L4 Media Company. Been getting great numbers with that show, and we really, really, really do appreciate that and the feedback. But let's now get back into Class 3A. Now, that's this show right here, of course, sideline to sideline. Now brought to you by Powerplus Mouthguard. But let's go ahead and get into Class 3A Division 1. Trying to get there. We go. All right. So in Region 1, Class 3A Division 1, you got Amarillo River Road, Bushland, Dalhart, and Shallow Water. You got short districts out here. District 2, you guys are all I really had to say about that. Brownsville, Denver City, Kermit, and La Mesa. District 3, you've got Breckenridge, Clyde, Comanche. Wow. San Angelo, Texas Leadership, Sweetwater. Now, Sweetwater, of course, is the big ad. Jim Ned. And then District 4, you've got Bowie, Boyd, Iowa Park, Paradise, Peaster, Ponder, and Vernon. Of course, the big takeaway, Brock, the, reigning powerhouse of Class 3 to Division 1, Region 1 is now in 4A Division 2. But Sweetwater drops right in, and you want to talk about, they've got to be happy. It's a team that last year with a freshman quarterback, started out really, really strong in 4A, and then the depth just kind of wore them down. They're returning a lot of that team, and they're going to be in a region that I think they got to be happy. It's going to be a competitive region, don't get me wrong, but it's not. I'm not going to say Sweetwater is a favorite, but I kind of think Sweetwater might be a favorite. But they've got to adjust to it. All right, over in Region 2, District 5, you've got Grandview, Groesbeck, Maypearl, Mahia, West, and Whitney. In District 6, this is where it gets interesting because Pilot Point gets thrown over into Region 2 out of the old 4-3A. And to be honest with you, it's a tough district, but they've got to be happy, I think. I think Pilot Point could turn things around really quick in a district with Dallas A+, Dallas Life Oak Cliff, Dallas Madison, Palmer, Pottsboro, and Whitesboro. So, if you're Pilot Point, man, you might have got a little ray of sunshine because that's a program that really needs it after the last about 500 calendar days have just been really tough on Pilot Point. Over in Class 3A Division 2, District 7, you've got Commerce, Eustis, Malakoff, Mineola, Mount Vernon, Rains, and Winsboro. So for the last few years, that's where Pottsboro was in this district, with the likes of Mineola and Mount Vernon and Gladewater at the time, and such. Well, so this whole region has been kind of thrown into a blender, which I like. This is what I like when it comes to this. If you're going to have change, I'd want full on change. If all the districts are going to stay basically the same, that's kind of boring. I mean, I know it establishes tradition, but I'm about as a third party fan that just likes to look, watch the football. It's kind of fun to just keep getting different districts. And I like how Region 2, 3A Division 1's played out. In District 8, you got Atlanta, Gladewater, Sabine, Jefferson. They got a new coach, Tatum, Liberty Ilo, and White Oak. So Region 2, it's spread out. You can make a case for a team in each district to be the region favorite. And so that's going to be a fun region. Class 3A Division 1, Region 3, you've got Crockett, Diboll, Fairfield, Huntington, Palestine, Westwood, and Teague in District 9. In District 10, you've got Anahuac, Buna, Cold Spring, East Chambers, Hardin, Kirbyville, and Orangefield. Well, that's a up-in-the-air district. Over in District 11, you've still got, I know Lorena's left and all, but it's still a powerhouse of a district. Cameron, Franklin, Little Rivers Academy, McGregor, Rockdale, and Troy. And then in District 12, you've got Columbus, Hallettsville, Hempstead, Hitchcock, and Yoakum. In Region 4, you've got Florence, Ingram Moore, Llano, Luling, Marion, and Universal City, Randolph. In District 14, you've got Crystal City, Hondo, Jordanton, Lytle, Poteet, and Cole. District 15, you've got Aransas Pass, Corpus Christi, London, Corpus Christi, West Oso, Edna, Goliad, Mathis, Orange Grove, and Palacios. Man, that's a big district. And then in District 16, you've got a big one too in Bishops, Falfurus, Lyford, Progresso, Raymondville, Rio Hondo, San Diego, and Santa Gertrudis Academy. So that is Class 3A Division 1. You know, oops, I didn't mean to go back that out. Region 2 stands out. Of course, Region 1 stands out because, again, Brock is gone. You've got programs that feel that they're ready to take over and to step up. And then, like I said, you've got, Sweetwater coming down into it with a team that's not only a bigger school, obviously coming off of 4A, but also, again, very young. Have a sophomore starting quarterback, going to have multiple starters back on both sides of the ball. And so you feel like if you're the Mustangs, you've got to feel very comfortable coming into this. So it's whenever a power leaves, there's that vacuum, and we'll see who's able to fill the vacuum first, at least to start off this new region. Region 2, again, like I said, it's so spread out. Really, all of them are. District 11's pretty packed, and District 12 is too. But again, some of those programs are going through some changes off of what they were last year. Some of them will be exactly the same. But yeah, it just feels like Class 3A Division 1, at least right now on paper, is very well spread out and very. I think each district has a team that can make a nice run. But of course, we have to get into the deep dive of that kind of stuff, and then we'll figure that out. All right, let's go over to Class 3A Division 2 now. Region 1, you've got Canadian, Childress, Dimmitt, Friona, and Toluca. Of course, Spearman dropped down out of that district. In District 2, you've got Idalou, Littlefield, Roosevelt, Muleshoe, and Slayton. In District 3, you have Alpine, Anthony, Crane, Tornillo. In District 4, you've got Cahoma, Merkel, Odessa Compass Academy, San Angelo, Grape Creek, Stanton, and Wall. Wall making wholesale changes now with new coaches, so that's going to be interesting. In Region 2, you've got Brady, Clifton, Dublin, Early, Eastland, and Toller. In District 6, you've got Henrietta, Holiday, Jacksboro, Millsap, Valley View, and City View. So Millsap gets the unfortunate spin and goes back into a tougher district, in my opinion, with Holiday and Jacksboro and Henrietta being in there. And, of course, Wichita Falls, City View a couple years ago had a nice run. In District 7, it's Bells, Blue Ridge, Callisburg, Gunner, Howe, Leonard, Sadler, S&S Consolidated. Man, Gunner loading up for Bear with Brock, with Salina. They had Malakoff if they needed him, but I don't think they're going to need him. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they won't need him. But man, Salina and Gunner hasn't played in forever. And that was one of the programs, of course, it was a different Gunner, but, Salina got the best of everybody back then, but Salina got the best of Gunner most of those times too. So that's going to be interesting. District 8, Blooming Grove, Gateway Charter, Inspired Vision Academy, Rice, Scurry, Rosser, and Trinity Leadership, Cedar Hill. So it's the odd district there, basically. Rice and Scurry, Rosser, and Blooming Grove now all should have walks to the playoffs. In Region 3, District 9, you've got Harmony, Edgewood, Grand Saline, Lone Oak, Parish, Chisholm, Pattonville, Prairieland, and Quitman. So this is a district that was all over East Texas. District 10, you've got Dangerfield, DeKalb, Hooks, Hugh Springs, New Boston, Queen City, and Redwater. District 11, you've got Arp, Buffalo, New Diana, Elkhart, and New London, West Grusk. So West Grusk. New Diana spins over a little bit more southeast from them. District 12, you got Anderson, Shiro, Koontz, New Waverly, Newton, Trinity, Warren, and Woodville. In District 13, you got Blanco, Comfort, Lexington, Rogers, and Thrall. In District 14, you got Rice Consolidated, Bowling, East Bernard, Tidehaven, Van Vleck, Vanderbilt Industrial, and Wallace Brazos. So, wow, that becomes a power pack 3A Division 2 district this year. Of course, Tidehaven making the run to the state championship. Vanderbilt Industrial over the last few years has become a region threat. Now they're in a region I think they're more compatible. Wallace Brazos has had a couple nice years. Apparently Rice Consolidated is turning things around. East Bernard's got to find a new coach, but they bounced back after a struggle 2 years ago. So District 14, Region 4, man, that's going to be, for when we do our toughest district show, that's going to be high up there on Class 3A Division 2 if it is not the best. District 15, Cotulla, Dilley, Karn City, Natalia, Nixon, Smiley, Poth, and then San Antonio Young Men's Leadership and Stockdale. And District 16, Banquetti, George West, Hebronville, Monte Alto, Odom, Santa Rosa, and Taft. And that's a look at Class 3A. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll do it all again for 4A, and then we'll just kind of start kind of gauging the reaction of what people are saying on social media as it is Realignment Day right here on Sideline to Sideline, brought to you by Powerplus Mouthguard. Terry Bennett back here on Sideline to Sideline, the Realignment Show. Brought to you by Powerplus Mouthguard right here on L4 Media. This is technically the first official show of the 2024 season. It's funny just kind of planning out the year and stuff and getting ready for work things. You joke it's February 1st, but before you know it, it'll be it'll be June 1st, and then we'll be at coach's school, and then we'll be doing our Big Arch preview show at Grant's house. I mean, that's how quick these years go by. And that's how quick these things are when it comes to even planning it. It just feels like we were just at state last weekend. All right, let's go ahead and look at 4A, Division 1. Start out in Region 1, District 1. You've got Clint, you got Mountain View, you got El Paso, Austin, Bowie, Irvin, Riverside, Yosemite, Fabians, and San Elziaro. That's going to be an interesting district, being all the way in El Paso like that. It had just been Riverside, but now it's the whole El Pasos. District 2, you got Canyon, you've got Randall, and you got West Plains. So Canyon ISD are all brought together under one district now. Dumas, Hereford, and Pampa. That's a tough district. If Hereford's, bounce back from the 2 years ago struggle is legitimate, that's, they're a tough team. We saw what West Plains, what they had. Dumas is going to be rebuilding. So District 2 is going to be interesting. Out in District 3, it's Andrews, Big Spring, Pecos, San Angelo, Lakeview. District 4, you've got Brownwood, Burnett, Lampasas, Marvel Falls, and Stephenville. So we're just taking all of the hill country now and calling it District 4. That is right in the middle, and that's perfect, man. That's some great travel to games for Grant and I if we want to go to a couple games this year. In that area, because we love to go there in the beginning of the football years. All right, Region 2, District 5, you got Decatur, you got Fort Worth, Carter, Riverside, Eastern Hills, Southwest, Western Hills, and Diamond Hills, Jarvis, and Springtown. So you've got to be happy if you're Springtown and Decatur with this district. I mean, maybe not Decatur. You're probably wanting to, play tougher teams and whatnot, but still, I mean, that's a path for the playoffs. And then you're going to play in the first round the winner of Alvarado, Ranchview, Kennedale, Lake Worth, River Oaks, Castleberry, and Waxahachie Life. So on District 7, Region 2, you've got Aubrey, Salina, Panther Creek, Lake Dallas, Nevada Community, Paris, and Sulphur Springs. So Salina stayed 4A. I kept hearing they were going to go 5A. District 8, Carter, Conrad, Hutchins, Kimball, Lincoln, Pinkston, Roosevelt, North Dallas, the Dallas ISD districts. I mean, if you're Pinkston, you got to love that. Pinkston, a team the last couple of years, I'm not trying to say they were great teams, but they were competitive teams. And they just were in the unluckiness of what district they were in. And so now they're in a district where I guarantee you, I don't say guarantee you, but there's a good chance that they're going to make the playoffs. But let's go back to if your district in a really solid region, you got to like it if you're Decatur or Springtown. Your path, if you're first and second, should get you to a region semifinal at the least. Region final, really. District 7, same way in the first round, though, depending on what Carter has this year and Hutchins too, they could at least be competitive for the 3rd and 4th. Over in Region 3, District 9, Henderson, Kilgore, Lindale, Pine Tree, Maybank, Palestine, and Chapel Hill. So Pine Tree drops back down into 4A. They'll be competitive in this district. We don't know, of course, I haven't started even looking at who's returning and all that kind of fun stuff, but depending on what everybody has, Kilgore and Chapel Hill and Lindale are going to be there. I think Henderson's going to be much improved. And Pine Tree's going to drop in and feel like they can compete. This is a team that's made the playoffs in 5A. And so I think they feel very confident dropping into this district. And they could pull a Henderson when they first drop down or Carthage when they first drop down and instantly become competitive. In District 10, you've got Bridge City, Hardin Jefferson, Huffman Hargrave, Liberty, Livingston, Lumberton, LCM, and Viter. District 11's the Houston ISD, Fur, Cashmere, North Forest, Northside, Scarborough, Washington, Wheatley, Worthing, and Yates. District 12, Fort Bend, Willeridge, or as I grew up, they were Sugarland Willeridge back when Thurman Thomas was playing running back for them. And man, they were a 5A power back then. They're down into 4A Division I now as Fort Bend, Willeridge, also Fort Bend, Crawford, Freeport, Brazosport, Navasota, Needville, and Statford. That's a sneaky competitive district. That's going to be interesting to see how that district plays out. Over in Region 4, you've got the Austins, the Achieve, the East Side, the Johnson. That's right. LBJ Johnson is back as Austin School ISD this year decided not to opt up. I'm happy. I would have loved to have seen 2 years ago's team being down in 4A, the team that lost to Stephenville the year before. They returned a ton. I think they instantly are competitive here in Region 4 and 4A Division I now. I don't know if they're as competitive, but, we'll see. You got New Tech and Taylor. In District 14, you've got Canyon Lake, you've got Davenport, you've got Fredericksburg, Pleasanton, San Antonio, Kennedy, Somerset, and Uvalde. So Bernie is gone. If you're Uvalde and them, you got to like that. You got to feel that that's one less spot that you kind of were understanding before the season that you were going to lose that game. District 15, you've got Bay City. You've got Beeville, Jones, El Campo, Floresville, Lavernia, and Port Lavaca, Calhoun. That's just a really good, solid district. But if you're El Campo, you got to be happy with this district. I know Lavernia is good and Bay City, but you're getting out of that district that was just a meat grinder last year. And District 16's Cal Allen, Tolosa Midway, Hidalgo Early College, Far Valley View, and Zapata. Another, for Cal Allen, another walkable district, but I think a tougher region now with 15 right there. Overall, again, a good job of spreading it out for the most part. Region 1, it's going to be interesting again what West Plains, how they rebuild, what Canyon has coming back. Stephenville now being out in Region 1. A tough district, but not the grinder that was, the China Spring and that whole group and La Vega and Stephenville and that it just it's fun as a fan, but as a program you got to have these breaths. But District 4 is going to be competitive with Brownwood, and it's good to see Stephenville and Brownwood back in the same district. So that's kind of fun. All right, let's flip over and take a look at 4A Division 2. District 1, you've got Fort Stockton, Greenwood, Monaghan, Seminole, and Snyder. That's interesting. District 2, you got Borger, Levelland, Cooper, of course, Lubbock, Cooper, Liberty, the new school, Lubbock, Estacado, and Perryton. So that's going to be an interesting one. District 3, you've got Bridgeport, you've got Brock. Welcome to Class 4A Division 2, Brock Eagles, Burke, Burnett, Eagle Mountain, Graham, and Mineral Wells. In District 4, you've got Benbrook, Dunbar, Glen Rose, Godley, Hillsboro, and Venus. So Brock gets the Graham, Mineral Wells, of course, Cody Worrell, head coach of Mineral Wells, the former offensive coordinator at Brock. Graham's got a lot coming back. Ty Thompson and a really good defense. Burt Burnett's got some good stuff coming back. But I think if you're Coach Mathis and the Brock Eagles, this is a good realignment day. You're in a competitive region, but you're not into something that you can't win. So you got to be happy with that. If you're, Glen Rose, I think you're happy. You get to, you had a great run last year, but you're very young and you're still growing and you're still maturing. And I think you're in a district that gives you enough competition, but you can also go out and get a good non-district game or two to toughen up. Region 2, District 5, Bonham, Caddo Mills, Farmersville, Gainesville, Crum, Sanger, and Van Alstyne. Caddo Mills and Sunnyvale got split up for the first time in a while. As far as the easier district, I think Caddo Mills got that, but not by a lot, because District 6, Canton, Ferris, Kemp, Quinlan Ford, Sunnyvale, and Wills Point. These are two okay districts. You're fodder for 7 and 8. I mean, let's be honest. Luckily, you get 5 and 6 against each other first. But, yeah, I mean, you got District 7 with Gilmer, Spring Hill, North Lamar, Pittsburgh, Pleasant Grove, and Van. So Van flips up. They had been in Carthage's district, and their prize for leaving Carthage's district is now you get Gilmer and Pleasant Grove and a much improved North Lamar and a better Pittsburgh. In District 8, you got Athens, Brownsboro, Bullard, Carthage, Center, and Rusk. It's Carthage district until proven otherwise. This region, it's so heavy to the east side that, man, you just hope, Sunnyvale, Coach John Settles retiring. What do they have and who do they hire? And are they able to finally take that next step? You just want to see a region threat from that left side. I know a few years ago, Caddo Mills did, making it to the, region final, but it's Gilmer, Pleasant Grove, and Carthage or Van but anyway, we'll see. Region 3, District 9, you've got Tarkenton, Hampshire, Fennett, Jasper, Shepherd, Silsbee, and West Orange Stark. So that's still just a gauntlet of a district right there. And you got to ask, does that wear them down by the time playoffs? Because seeing a couple of those teams against Belleville, and Belleville's special, I know, but the way they dominated both West Orange Stark and especially Silsbee, you just wonder, did that gauntlet of having to play so many tough teams in that district just wear them down? District 10, you've got Harmony School of Innovation, Katy Harmony, Lamarck, Royal, Brookshire Royal, Sweeney, West Columbia, and Wharton. District 11, you've got Belleville, you've got Caldwell, you've got Giddings, you've got LaGrange, you've got Madisonville, you've got Sealy. District 12, you've got China Spring, you got Gatesville, you've got Lorena, you've got Robinson, you've got Conley, you've got La Vega. So Matt Stepp and I were talking on Twitter. Is this now the District of Doom? I think it's close. I think it's for this class, yeah. I don't even think it's even close. I mean, as far as this class, I don't think it's that close. Still, District 9, I guess. I don't know. We'll have to discuss that when we do that yearly show, Toughest District, I guess. Region 4, you got Navarro, Gonzales, Jarrow, Lago Vista, Salado, Smithville, and Wimberley. So this district had been basically Navarro, Wimberley, La Vega, Lago Vista, and then everybody else. Now it's got a little bit more teeth with Smithville, and Salado in there. District 14, you've got Bandera. Of course, we had a Bandera football show. We're probably going to have another one this year. Carrizo Springs, Divine, Pearsall, and San Antonio Memorial. In District 15, you get Cuero, Ingleside, Robstown, Rockport, Fulton, and Sinton. That's going to be a fun little district. And in District 16, you got Kingsville, King, La Feria, Port Isabel, and Rio Grande City, Grulla. So that is all of the districts. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a little bit of a break here, kind of see what's going on any of the social media about schedules and stuff. We already talked a little bit about Gunter, and who they're going to play, but we'll see if we can find some more. And we'll do that when we come back right here on Sideline to Sideline. Brought to you by Powerplus Mouthguard, Realignment Day.
And when it comes to protecting players from concussions, one North Texas team is putting its money where its mouth is. Our Corey Smith takes us to Colleyville Heritage High School to explain.
The road to a state championship starts in the weight room.
And you're going to suck down hard on it. Don't bite.
But this little mouth guard may be the most important piece of equipment in here.
You can drink with it, you can talk with it, you can breathe with it.
The Panthers have joined a growing list of schools that hope it will drastically cut down the number of concussions suffered on the field by simply creating a gap between the jaw and skull.
And it separates that joint away from the skull so that the G-force that we find in concussions doesn't get up to the brain where it causes an injury.
Dr. Michael Hutchison invented the medically patented mouth guard. He's given it to more than 2,000 athletes and can count on one hand how many concussions they've experienced.
You'll be shocked at what you can do.
Well, we're always researching better technology that's out there.
The data was compelling enough that Colleyville Heritage football coach Joe Willis decided to outfit his entire team with the Powerplus mouth guard.
We feel like that we have an advantage, in terms of keeping them healthy and keeping them on the field.
Okay, open big.
Michael Hott works side by side with Dr. Hutchison. His daughter died from a head injury in 2002, so this business is personal.
This is something they have to wear anyways, so why not something that has been shown medically and has been demonstrated in thousands of athletes to reduce concussions that occur on the playing field and in practice.
And after getting fitted today, these Panthers are ready to put it to the test.
Having that on gives you a sense of security, and you're protected.
In Colleyville, Corey Smith, NBC5.
Last year, 30 players on the Colleyville Heritage football team wore that mouth guard. None got a concussion. Dr. Hutchison hopes to partner with other scientists studying concussions to continue improving the technology. The mouth guard costs about $30.
Is your demanding work lifestyle in need of fire-resistant clothing that can keep up? Well, L4FR clothing should be your go-to for quality, affordability, safety, and style. L4FR was founded by a third-generation oil field worker who is also a veteran. Thus, this company has a deep appreciation for reliability and longevity, all while we provide first-rate customer service. Our durable apparel will serve you well for many years to come, whether you're working on a pipeline, alignment climbing utility poles, or in any other environment requiring fire-resistant apparel. L4FR has you covered. Our apparel is tough enough to resist hazardous conditions while still providing high comfort and style. L4FR provides clothing options to ensure your safety and comfort, whether you're on the job or not. To view our complete inventory of flame-resistant garments, please visit our online store at L4FRclothing.com or give us a call at 817-757-4935. Si habla español. Is your demanding work lifestyle in need of fire-resistant clothing that can keep up? Well, L4FR clothing should be your go-to for quality, affordability, safety, and style. L4FR was founded by a third-generation oil field worker who is also a veteran. Thus, this company has a deep appreciation for reliability and longevity, all while we provide first-rate customer service. Our durable apparel will serve you well for many years to come, whether you're working on a pipeline, alignment climbing utility poles, or in any other environment requiring fire-resistant apparel. L4FR has you covered. Our apparel is tough enough to resist hazardous conditions while still providing high comfort and style. L4FR provides clothing options to ensure your safety and comfort, whether you're on the job or not. To view our complete inventory of flame-resistant garments, please visit our online store at L4FRclothing.com or give us a call at 817-757-4935. Si habla español.
Hey, I mean, that was a good point.
I think we might start seeing some go back.
They were essentially invented back in 1950 by a Canadian doctor to prevent chipping of teeth because professional football players and all the other football players had no face mask. Their teeth were being chipped, and this is what it was designed for. That technology has not changed in 67 years, other than colors. They put some holes in it. They've done some things to it. It has not done anything different other than prevent chipping teeth, period. It was absolutely time to make a change.
Mouth guards, most people are familiar with, go on the upper arch. That is the stationary part of the skull. Nothing changes or moves on that. And the bite is determined by the mandible or the lower arch. So when you take a mouth guard and you flip it over and put it on the lower arch, then you can position it in your physiologic jaw position. And it's important to fit that appliance to each person to correct their physiologic discrepancy. If we can't solve concussions for football, there's growing sentiment from especially the mothers out there. I don't want to put my kid in a sport that hurts them. We have had only 4 concussions out of over 2,000 athletes who've worn Powerplus mouthguard technology. Physiologic rest position is the new mouthguard. All other mouthguards are obsolete and should not be worn. Why do it when you can improve everything about it by using physiologic jaw position? It opens up a 100% muscle function. Put your muscles in its relaxed position so there's no inflammation and no swelling. The nerve information goes out to every muscle fiber, and that's where you get increased strength and balance and performance.
Terry Bennett back here, sideline to sideline. Sorry, I was trying to find some information. I took a little bit of an extended break there. We're just kind of going over what social media said. I did want to point out, I don't think I emphasized this enough in Class 3A Division 2, District 12, Newton and Woodville in the same district. I think that's kind of interesting. I didn't really kind of went through that kind of quick. And again, Grant and I, we're going to meet back in a couple of weeks here, and we're going to do a real good live or recorded, show like we always do on Realignment, and just kind of get back, take a look back after letting things kind of settle. I'll be having coaches on. That could start as soon as today. For sure, Monday I've got one scheduled, and they'll go up. And like I said, we'll have coaches talking about realignment, and then we'll have our other series where we're talking with coaches who've just now got a new job in 4A, 3A, or 2A. And then we're going to be doing some other off-season stuff, of course, beyond the field, our Outdrank the Coverage shows. We're basically 24 hours now as far as shows. Take a small break at the beginning of the year, but then we jump right back into it. By the way, breaking news, if you're an NFL fan or listen to Outdrank the Coverage, Dan Quinn's been named the new head coach of the Washington Commanders. Happy for what he did for Dallas, but not sad to see him go. Lindell Football on Twitter is talking about how they're excited for their new district. Again, we talked about that. Henderson and Kilgore and Pine Tree and Lindell and Maybank and Palestine and Chapel Hill. That's going to be interesting right there. Pine Tree drops in and I think is immediately competitive, but the district doesn't do them any favors. They're going to be in a district where it's not just about making seeding. They're going to have to earn their playoff spot. Just looking again, we talked a little bit about Gunter. They're playing Salina and Brock. So Brock and Gunter will continue that rivalry, which I'm happy about. Just looking around. Of course, as soon as I get schedules, I post them. Chapel Hill football posted that they're excited about that same district. 6-3A, you got Pottsboro, Whitesboro, Dallas A+, Life, Oak Cliff, Madison, Palmer, and Pilot Point. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Jason De La Rosa on Twitter talking about that district. Again, I think if you're Pottsboro, Whitesboro, Palmer, you got to be, or Pilot Point especially, you got to be happy. I think Pilot Point, sometimes the way you turn things around, it's also fortunate of where you're at. And I think they're in a district that's competitive. Don't get me wrong. But I think that they can compete better in there than they could in 4-3A, even with Brock leaving. Because when you look at 4-3A, let me go pull that up real quick. Let's see here. 3A Division 1. So when you look at 3A Division 1 class or 4-3A, you've got Bowie Boyd. Iowa Park now is a team. And, it felt like ever since they've dropped down to 3A, they've kind of not quite performed, at least like I thought they were. I thought they were going to be a team that put their hat in the region favorite, and they've just not done it yet. You've got Paradise, of course, Peaster, Ponder. Ponder's extremely young this year. Of course, we had a Ponder coaches show. You've got Vernon now. That's a district that's going to be a tough one. And Region 1 is going to be tough, period. Again, with Sweetwater falling down, kind of like Pine Tree and 4A, I think Sweetwater's in a better situation. Comanche loses a lot. Jim Ned loses a lot. I say a lot. But Sweetwater has a great sophomore quarterback coming back, and if he keeps maturing, that's going to be a tough one right there. Sweetwater is going to be a tough out in this region in this class. I wonder now, Columbus and Hitchcock, how do they respond now? Yoakum was young last year. Hallettsville was young last year. Now, Colin, I think Columbus has more coming back. I'd be curious to see who they play in non-district. I mean, both of those teams, they didn't, they fell short of their goals, but I mean, it's just like you were just in a tough spot. I mean, you played good football, you just lost. And so it'll be interesting to see now with them, with China Spring and I'm not China Spring, with Lorena gone. And you still got Franklin, of course. You still got Cameron Yo, and you still got Little River Academy. Let's see what Troy does now. District 8, 3A Division 1. Atlanta. Does Atlanta, I thought Atlanta was going to take a bigger step forward last year. Do they this year? Of course, Gladewater's been down the last couple of years. Sabine's been up and down. Jefferson, new coach. We'll have to see how that works out. Offensive coordinator for Pleasant Grove. Antoine Jimerson did a solid job there back at his hometown for the Bulldogs. They just never could get over that hump. They were just kind of a one and done type team in the playoffs. Tatum, year 3 of the being under Keeling. Do they take that next step now? They lose a stud in Cole Watson. What do they have coming back? That's going to be the question for them. Liberty Ilo, perpetually building, perpetually changing coaches. White Oak was terrible last year. Can they find life? And we're talking about in a region that to me is just stands out as packed with Grandview, with West and Whitney, with Pottsboro, with Malakoff, of course. Mount Vernon, year 2 of Clayton George. They did better than I thought they would last year. Winsboro, how do they rebuild? They had a special class that did a lot of special things for them. Now, how do they take it to that next step while also rebuilding? So Region 2 is going to have a lot of questions. Of course, going into the season, every team has questions. But Malakoff, how does it feel how will it be to now play as a state champion? Because it's different. You definitely, Malakoff's always had the regional tag on their back, but you're going to get it now, especially. Let's see here. Let's pull up 3A Division 1. 3A Division 2. I didn't really talk enough about that one. All right, so 3A Division 2. Oh, excuse me, that's 3A Division 1. All right, here we go. All right, so 3A Division 2. You look out in Region 1, and, it still feels like it's Canadians. See what Wall does with their hire, but it still feels like Canadian's going to be the team to beat. I know people were hoping Gunter was going to be out of 3A Division 2, but they're not. They're firmly back in it. District 7 firmly in with Bells, Howe, and Leonard. District 6, you've got that Holiday, Henrietta, Jacksboro, Wichita Falls, City View, Millsap. You know, I mean, Millsap's a team that's been really solid the last couple of years, but it's also helped the district they've been in. They could easily find themselves in 4th or 5th place in this one. They don't watch it. It's a tough district. Hey, it's 59 degrees right now. I don't know if y'all can hear that. My Alexa does these updates. District 10 in Region 3, Dangerfield, Hooks, Hugh Springs, New Boston. Does Hugh Springs bounce back? Redwater, Queen City. District 11, ARP, Buffalo, New Diana, Elkhart, West Russ, Troop, and Winona. So that becomes that south of 20 to 45 district. That's an interesting district. 10 and 11 feels like they got some of their depth taken out and a little bit more cannon fodder put in. That's not necessarily a bad thing. And again, we talked about District 12. You've got Newton and Woodville in the same district. That'll be interesting. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll kind of start to wrap things up. I just kind of wanted this to be a chance for people who might not could, take the time to scroll through, could, just be able to jump in real quick and see what their districts are and stuff. But we'll take a break here for a couple minutes and we'll have some closing thoughts.
Connected to a semi-pro team in Traverse City, Michigan. And they were doing okay, but not great. And we had a couple of concussions. They were averaging 3 or 4 a year, actually. And when we got the Mouthguard, I took it to the owner and I said, this is something that we ought to have on every player. And he said, okay. He said, what have we got to lose? Because we were losing our good players. And we put them on and we went 4 straight seasons and we had not one concussion.
All right, Terry Bennett back here, sideline to sideline, Realignment show. Looking on Twitter, Lorena posted theirs. Of course, we talked about it. Matt Stepp had called it. China Spring, Robinson, Conley, La Vega, Lorena, and Gatesville, all in the same district. There's going to be 2 teams that don't make the playoffs there that are pretty darn good teams. Lorena, we saw them last year against can't think of who it was they played. China Spring in non-district, and now they're going to be in district. Again, if you're NFL fan, and if you didn't know, Dan Quinn has been named head coach of the Washington Commanders. I don't think there's a lot of people that are Cowboy fans that are too mad about that. All right, so once we get going with this off-season stuff, we're going to be having, again, our coaches series, new coaches to new jobs. We'll also be talking to our coaches that we do coaches shows with. We'll be announcing new coaches shows as we get them. If you're interested, if you're a coach or you're a booster club president or you're a business owner and you're interested in having your school have a show, reach out to me, Terry at s2ssport.com. You can also find me on Facebook, Sideline to Sideline, on Twitter, at Grant and Terry. You can also email my personal, txbroadcaster75 at gmail.com. Just reach out to me and we'll talk about it. But as we have those, I'll post them. We'll also, of course, be posting Grant and I's reaction to Region. again, probably that here in a couple of weeks. Outdrank the coverage. Outdrank the coverage is, each and every week we talk the Cowboys, the NFL. We have our conference show. It's already up. You can go check it out at L4 Media Company. And also we'll be doing a Super Bowl preview. And then we start our off-season shows, which honestly, those are kind of our fun shows. We're going to do a spinoff, Outdrank the Coverage, Bad Movies and a Drink. Intern Noah and I are going to, in March, review Old Roadhouse and the new Roadhouse. If you didn't know about that, Jake Gyllenhaal has a new Roadhouse movie that sometimes looks shot for shot, a remake, and then, of course, some other changes. So intern Noah and I'll be doing that. And then we do our look backs at Dallas Cowboys and interesting NFL seasons and all that fun stuff. So again, make sure you check all that out. And also, all of our Facebook, all of our social medias, again, Sideline to Sideline on Facebook, at Twitter, at Grant and Terry, at L4 Media. Find us on YouTube at L4 Media Company. And I do thank everybody for joining us here on the special little realignment show. I'll put the show up as well on YouTube and link it for everybody to be able to see. And I'll also put the audio up in the morning as well for audio only. But we do appreciate everybody joining us. Happy Realignment Day. I hope you find your team in the district that you want for the next couple years, because no matter what, that's where they're going to be. Until next time, I'm Terry Bennett. This has been Sideline to Sideline, brought to you by our new title sponsor, Powerplus Mouthguard. Check them out, powerplusmouthguard.com for the 24 season promo code S2S24, and you get an awesome discount. So again, check that out. And check out their website, powerplusmouthguard.com. And that's going to do it for me, Terry Bennett, Sideline to Sideline. Talk to you next time, folks.